Hi everybody, welcome to Saturday Live at the Backyard Bird Center. This is the time of year that our friends the raccoons are out, have their young with them, and especially mom is taking them around and teaching them where free food is available to them, and your bird feeders are a primary target for that. And you know, we've talked for a long time, and we've got a whole session on baffles and how to use a raccoon baffle on a pole beside in your yard. Well, because of the topography here in the Midwest, you know, the design of a lot of houses are with walkout basements, and the yards drop off, so that people, when it comes to viewing their bird feeders, they are looking out their family windows and their kitchen windows up at maybe deck level, and they can't see down to their bird feeders very conveniently. So feeding from the deck is a really good solution for most people when it comes to just watching their bird feeders. Now, for deck arms, we have great varieties of those. We have clamp-ons and screw-ons and even wrought iron attachments, things like that. And they work great for hanging your bird feeders and watching them. But boy, they can be problematic when it comes to keeping mammals off of them. Both squirrels and raccoons are great climbers. And I've had people think, well, we can just hang a baffle like this over my bird feeder off my deck. Well, you know, it's not a problem for mammals, especially squirrels, and even raccoons can reach your feeder and pull it over to them at the deck railing, and baffles don't do you any good except for rain protection off of your deck. So what are some of the solutions for feeding birds from a deck and keeping raccoons and or squirrels out of it? Well, a good squirrel-proof feeder works great against squirrels, like the Squirrel Buster Classic here. And the weight, it slides down whenever the squirrels get on it, and they do still have to climb out and put their weight on the feeder, and the cage slides down. That works great. Raccoons, they're so dexterous. Their hands are so good, and they can manipulate things. They will quite often just get that feeder off of the deck arm and drop it to the ground and go down and feed on it from there. So not great against squirrels, not so great against raccoons, and so we have to find other solutions. We've always talked about, you know, raccoons don't like safflower as much, and they don't like Niger as much, and those are great things to feed from your deck, and maybe they'll leave those alone. Not 100% guaranteed, but those are a couple of solutions. But the liquid heat or the hot pepper mixes have been very popular, and they tend to be working great against raccoons and squirrels. We have the soot cakes that have it already made in it. We have birdseed mixes that already have the liquid habanero oil baked into it, and then we have the liquid habanero oil you can just mix in on yourself. And remember, this doesn't hurt birds. Birds don't have taste buds on their tongues like mammals do. Completely different taste system, but for things with fur, this can be very effective, and that's something a lot of people have had success with feeding off their deck. The can't beat them, join them solution of feeding from your deck is to bring your bird feeders in at night. We used to have to do this when I was director at Martha Lafitte. We had bird feeders hanging from the deck, and every night, if we did not bring them in, we'd have to go down to the edge of the woods in the morning and retrieve the bird feeders, bring them back up, wash them off, because they're usually covered in mud from being drugged down there. And so we just kept Rubbermaid containers inside the nature center, right inside the back door of the deck, and we go through at night before we left, brought them in and put them in the tubs, and in the morning, first thing we did when we got there was put the bird feeders back out again, which is, you know, it's a lot of work. And also the birds who want to feed early in the morning, depending on what time you get up, that's just not so great for them. But you know, when you can't do anything else, you're tired of broken bird feeders and your seed being emptied every morning when you come out, that's just something you can try. Now for hummingbird feeders and oriole feeders, raccoons love sugar water. They have a sweet tooth, and they will do anything to get to these guys whenever they discover where they're at. So feeding them from deck arms will almost always end with them on the ground in the morning and broken. And I actually woke up one morning and had them in my bird bath, where they had gotten it off the hook and taken it to the bird bath, and because the raccoons like to wash their food, so they took the Oriole feeder into the bird bath. That's where I found it the next morning. So when it comes to hummingbird and Oriole feeders, my number one suggestion is, if you can do it, and that is from under the eave, and that is a ceiling type hook screwed in, so that it will hang right in front of a good window that you're going to be watching the hummingbird feeders or the oriole feeders from, and hang them there because raccoons can't climb the glass. So it's very frustrating to them, and if you're lucky, they'll never ever figure a way to get there. And that's been working for me for years in my house. So hanging those sugar water feeders from underneath the eave plus it gets them closer to your windows. It makes them easier to see. So it's another great solution for the nectar feeders. So, you know, things with fur can be challenging to defeat, but there are ways around it, and hopefully this video helped a little bit. So if you like the videos, give them a like, share them with your friends, send in ideas for future programs. Until then, come by, let's talk birds.